The American dining landscape is undergoing a quiet collapse that few truly recognize. While social media obsesses over viral food trends and celebrity chefs, a darker story is unfolding across suburban strip malls and shopping centers. The chain restaurants that once defined family dinners, weekend outings, and celebrations are vanishing, silently, steadily, leaving behind empty storefronts where countless memories were made. This isn't a temporary slowdown or seasonal shift. It's a fundamental breakdown of brands that once seemed unshakable. From coast to coast, icons of casual dining are shuttering locations faster than they can reinvent themselves, victims of rising costs, shifting habits, and decades of corporate missteps disguised as innovation. Today, we're revealing 10 major restaurant chains on the verge of disappearing entirely. Each tells a different story, yet all share the same fate: declining sales, lost relevance, and an industry transforming faster than they can adapt. Number 10. California Pizza Kitchen. Once a pioneer in upscale casual dining, California Pizza Kitchen has lost the innovation and relevance that once set it apart. What began as a fresh, creative take on gourmet pizza has devolved into a struggling chain, caught between inflated prices and declining quality. The brand's signature dishes, once celebrated for their originality, now compete with countless artisanal pizzerias that offer fresher ingredients, better execution, and more authentic experiences, often at lower prices. Its bankruptcy reorganization, intended to provide stability, only deepened uncertainty. Supplier relationships remain strained, ingredient quality has dropped, and operational costs continue to climb. Many locations rely on dying mall traffic, leaving restaurants surrounded by empty storefronts and dwindling footfall. Operationally, specialized pizza ovens require precision that's no longer delivered. Crusts arrive inconsistently cooked, toppings unevenly applied, and presentation standards have eroded. The California-style identity, once synonymous with bright, creative, and fresh, now feels tired and overpriced. California Pizza Kitchen's decline illustrates how quickly a once-beloved concept can lose its purpose when corporate management prioritizes cost containment over culinary excellence. With fewer customers, mounting debt, and fading relevance, the brand that once defined casual sophistication now struggles to justify its existence in a market that has moved on. Number 9. Hooters. The sports bar concept built around provocative marketing and chicken wings now faces cultural headwinds that make its core positioning increasingly problematic for contemporary dining preferences. Younger demographics view the brand concept as outdated and potentially offensive, while traditional customer bases have aged out or migrated toward establishments offering superior food quality without controversial service elements. The wings that supposedly justify restaurant visits have never achieved quality standards necessary to compete with specialized wing establishments focused exclusively on preparation techniques and sauce varieties. Kitchen operations rely heavily on frozen products and simplified preparation methods that produce results consistently inferior to competitors investing in fresh ingredients and skilled cooking staff. Cultural conversations around the workplace environment and employee treatment have created negative associations that affect customer comfort levels and brand perception among potential diners. Many locations struggle maintaining adequate staffing as qualified candidates seek employment opportunities offering more professional working conditions and career advancement potential. Sports viewing experiences have deteriorated due to poor audio system management and screen positioning that makes following games difficult from many seating areas. Television programming appears haphazardly managed with important sporting events frequently unavailable, while screens display less popular content that fails to create the energetic atmosphere sports fans expect from dedicated viewing establishments. The service model that once attracted specific demographic segments now creates operational challenges as societal attitudes evolve and customer expectations change regarding appropriate workplace behavior and professional service standards. Number 8. Outback Steakhouse. The Australian-themed steakhouse that rode casual dining's golden era now struggles against currents threatening to submerge the entire concept. What seemed like an unshakable formula during the 1990s has revealed fundamental weaknesses as dining preferences shift toward experiences that feel more authentic and less theatrical in their cultural appropriations. The bloomin' onion that served as the chain's signature calling card now feels like an expensive indulgence that customers increasingly view as unnecessary, given portion sizes designed more for social media posts than actual consumption. Kitchen operations struggle with preparation timing that delivers the famous appetizer either undercooked with raw centers or overcooked with burnt exterior layers that mask expected flavors. Steak quality has become the most glaring weakness in a concept built entirely around meat preparation expertise. Prime cuts that once justified higher price points now arrive with marbling patterns, suggesting lower grade beef, while cooking techniques produce results ranging from acceptable to completely inedible depending on kitchen staff experience levels. The signature seasonings taste generic rather than distinctive, eliminating flavor profiles that once differentiated Outback steaks from competitors offering similar cuts at comparable prices. Overhead costs associated with maintaining elaborate interior theming have become unsustainable as foot traffic declines, and average check sizes fail matching operational expenses. The boomerangs, didgeridoos, and Australian memorabilia that once created immersive dining environments now feel dated and culturally insensitive to demographics, valuing authenticity over stereotypical representations. Maintenance costs for these decorative elements consume resources that might otherwise support food quality improvements or service training programs. Service standards have declined as experienced servers migrate toward establishments offering better earning potential through higher customer turnover rates and more generous tipping patterns. The lengthy meal preparation times that steakhouses require create table turnover challenges affecting server income potential, leading to staffing shortages during peak dining periods when customer patience runs thin. Number 7. O'Charley's. The regional chain that once anchored shopping centers across the Southeast has entered a death spiral that accelerated dramatically throughout 2024, with mass closures creating a domino effect that threatens the survival of remaining locations. What was designed to be a dependable neighborhood restaurant offering comfort food classics has become a cautionary tale about how quickly established brands can collapse when fundamental business principles are abandoned in favor of short-term cost-cutting measures. The famous rolls that once drew customers through the doors now arrive inconsistently prepared, sometimes cold and dense, other times overcooked to the point of being inedible. Kitchen staff turnover has reached levels where basic preparation techniques are being lost between shifts, creating experiences that vary wildly depending on who happens to be working any given day. The honey butter that made those rolls legendary has been reformulated with cheaper ingredients that fundamentally alter the taste profile customers remember from previous visits. Cash flow problems have created supplier relationship disasters that affect menu availability and ingredient quality across the entire chain. Vendors who once provided premium products on standard payment terms now demand immediate payment or refuse service entirely, forcing remaining locations to source ingredients from discount suppliers whose products cannot match the standards customers expect from established casual dining operations. The Southern comfort food positioning that built customer loyalty has been undermined by portion reductions and recipe modifications that make signature dishes taste generic rather than distinctive. Mac and cheese arrives in smaller portions with processed cheese that lacks the richness customers associate with home-style preparation, while chicken tenders seem smaller and less flavorful than comparable offerings at competing establishments. Location closures have accelerated beyond corporate projections, with many sites shuttering without advance notice to customers or employees. The unpredictable nature of these closures has created uncertainty among remaining patrons, who no longer trust that their preferred location will survive from month to month, leading to decreased frequency of visits as diners seek more reliable dining options. Franchise operators face mounting pressures as corporate support systems deteriorate, and marketing assistance disappears entirely from operational budgets. Many franchisees report feeling abandoned by corporate leadership that seems focused entirely on minimizing losses rather than developing strategies for sustainable operations. Number 6. Boston Market. The rotisserie chicken chain that once represented the future of fast casual dining has devolved into a legal nightmare plagued by unpaid wages, supplier lawsuits, and abandoned locations that create ghost town atmospheres in shopping centers where the brand once thrived. What began as an innovative approach to home-style meals has become a cautionary example of how operational mismanagement can destroy even the most promising restaurant concepts. Rotisserie equipment that requires constant maintenance and skilled operation has been allowed to deteriorate at many locations, creating food safety concerns and inconsistent cooking results that affect the core product customers expect from the specialized concept. Chickens arrive overcooked and dry or undercooked, and potentially dangerous, while the signature cornbread tastes stale and the mashed potatoes seem instant rather than freshly prepared. Legal proceedings have created operational chaos as unpaid employees file wage claims and suppliers terminate relationships due to outstanding invoices. Many locations operate with skeleton crews who lack proper training or adequate supervision, leading to service breakdowns and food quality problems that compound existing reputation damage. The family meal positioning that attracted busy parents seeking convenient dinner solutions has been undermined by pricing increases that make the value proposition questionable compared to grocery store alternatives or competing fast casual concepts. Side dishes that once seemed generous now arrive in smaller portions, while meat portions have shrunk to levels that make family meals feel inadequate for their intended purpose. Equipment failures affect more than just food preparation, as heating systems malfunction and dining areas become uncomfortable during extreme weather periods. Many locations appear poorly maintained, with obvious deferred maintenance issues that create unwelcoming environments for customers expecting clean, professional dining experiences. Corporate communication has become virtually non-existent, with franchise operators reporting months without contact from support teams. Menu updates arrive sporadically, if at all, while marketing materials often feature promotional items that locations cannot actually provide due to supply chain disruptions. Number 5. TGI Fridays. The restaurant that pioneered casual dining celebration has become a hollow shell operating with the desperate enthusiasm of a party that ended years ago while the decorations remained stubbornly in place. What once captured the essence of American social dining has devolved into an increasingly irrelevant brand, struggling to justify its existence in a marketplace filled with competitors who execute similar concepts with greater authenticity and modern appeal. The theatrical service style that once entertained customers now feels forced and artificial as undertrained staff attempt to maintain energy levels that feel inappropriate given the chain's obvious decline. Flair bartending demonstrations have been eliminated due to insurance concerns and staff turnover, removing one of the few remaining elements that differentiated Fridays from generic competitors. Debt burdens have created operational constraints that affect every aspect of the dining experience, from ingredient quality to staffing levels to facility maintenance. Many locations appear tired and worn, with decorations that seem dated rather than nostalgic, and furniture that shows obvious signs of deferred replacement. The signature cocktail program has been simplified to basic preparations that eliminate the creative presentations and premium ingredients that once attracted customers seeking entertainment alongside their meals. Happy hour promotions that once packed restaurants during crucial revenue periods have been scaled back to generic offerings that fail to generate excitement or drive repeat visits. Menu pricing has reached levels that make the dining experience feel overpriced relative to food quality and service standards that have declined significantly from the chain's peak performance periods. Loaded appetizers and signature entrees taste reformulated with cheaper ingredients that fundamentally alter flavor profiles customers expect from familiar menu items. Location closures have accelerated dramatically across major metropolitan markets, leaving remaining restaurants feeling isolated and struggling to maintain the critical mass necessary for the energetic atmosphere that defined the brand experience. Many longtime customers discover their preferred locations have shuttered without warning, arriving at familiar addresses to find darkened windows and corporate notices explaining abrupt operational cessations. The unpredictable nature of these closures has created uncertainty among remaining patrons, who no longer trust that their local Fridays will survive from season to season, leading to decreased visit frequency as customers seek more reliable dining alternatives that won't disappoint them with sudden shutdowns. Number 4. Ruby Tuesday. The casual dining chain that once anchored shopping centers across America has virtually disappeared from the restaurant landscape, leaving behind empty buildings and faded memories of reliable family dining experiences that defined weekend meals for multiple generations. What remains operates more like a museum preserving outdated dining concepts rather than vibrant restaurants serving contemporary customer needs. The famous salad bar that differentiated Ruby Tuesday from competitors and provided genuine value for health-conscious diners has been eliminated at most surviving locations, removing the primary feature that attracted regular customers and justified higher prices compared to fast casual alternatives. Without this signature element, Ruby Tuesday competes directly with establishments that execute similar menu items more efficiently and at lower cost points. Corporate recipes have been reformulated multiple times to reduce costs, creating taste profiles that feel bland and institutional, rather than appealing to families seeking enjoyable dining experiences. The burger preparations that once represented quality casual dining now taste frozen and mass-produced, while salad offerings seem assembled hours in advance rather than created fresh for individual orders. Physical facilities reflect years of deferred maintenance and reduced corporate investment in location updates. Dining rooms show obvious signs of wear with furniture that hasn't been replaced in decades, carpeting that appears stained and worn, and lighting fixtures that create dim, unwelcoming atmospheres that make meals feel depressing rather than celebratory. Kitchen equipment breakdowns affect food preparation quality, while HVAC systems frequently fail to maintain comfortable dining temperatures during peak seasons. The few remaining locations operate with skeleton crews that struggle to maintain basic service standards during even moderate busy periods, creating experiences that feel understaffed and chaotic. Menu simplification efforts have resulted in generic offerings that lack the distinctive character that once made Ruby Tuesday a deliberate dining choice rather than a convenience option. Corporate communication has become virtually non-existent, with official websites displaying outdated information about locations that closed years ago, while social media presence remains minimal compared to competitors who have successfully adapted to digital marketing strategies. Number 3. Applebee's. The neighborhood grill that once dominated suburban dining landscapes now struggles with an identity crisis that has left the brand feeling disconnected from every demographic it attempts to serve. What was designed to be America's neighborhood gathering place has evolved into a generic operation that fails to provide compelling reasons for customers to choose Applebee's over numerous alternatives, offering better food quality, superior service, or more attractive pricing structures. The transformation from community-centered restaurants to corporate-controlled operations has eliminated the local connections that originally made Applebee's locations feel integral to suburban social life. Franchise owners once invested in customizing locations to reflect community preferences, but standardization efforts have created uniform environments that feel sterile rather than welcoming. Kitchen operations now rely heavily on microwave reheating and prepackaged components that arrive from central suppliers rather than being prepared fresh at individual locations. This shift has fundamentally altered taste profiles of signature dishes, while creating preparation inconsistencies that vary between locations and shifts, making the dining experience feel unpredictable and disappointing. The riblets have become smaller and less flavorful, while burgers taste mass-produced rather than individually crafted. Appetizers that once arrived sizzling and fresh now seem reheated and generic, competing directly with establishments that execute similar concepts more effectively while charging comparable prices for superior execution. Service training has been reduced to basic order taking rather than the friendly neighborhood hospitality that once made servers feel like familiar community faces. Staff turnover reaches levels where most employees seem unfamiliar with menu details and unable to provide personalized service that might distinguish Applebee's from purely transactional dining experiences. The bar program that attracted after-work crowds has been simplified to generic offerings that fail to compete with establishments specializing in craft cocktails or extensive beer selections. Sports bar elements compete awkwardly with family dining components, creating confused atmospheres that satisfy neither demographic effectively. Marketing campaigns focus on price promotions rather than food quality or service improvements, training customers to view Applebee's as a discount option rather than a preferred dining destination. Happy hour specials and limited time offers create traffic spikes that strain understaffed kitchens and service teams, resulting in poor execution that damages brand perception among both promotional customers and regular diners. Number 2. Red Lobster. The seafood chain that once represented special occasion dining for countless American families has emerged from bankruptcy proceedings more damaged than ever. facing supply chain disruptions and operational challenges that make consistent quality impossible to maintain across remaining locations. What was supposed to be America's accessible gateway to quality seafood has become a cautionary tale about how financial mismanagement can destroy even the most established dining concepts. The endless shrimp promotions that drove the chain toward bankruptcy continue to haunt operations as corporate decision-makers struggle to develop sustainable pricing strategies that attract customers without generating catastrophic losses. Menu engineering efforts focus entirely on cost reduction rather than rebuilding the seafood quality standards that once justified premium pricing structures. Lobster portions have shrunk dramatically, while preparation methods rely increasingly on pre-cooked frozen products that eliminate the fresh seafood experience customers expect from specialized establishments. Crab legs arrive dry and lacking the sweet meat that seafood enthusiasts seek, while fish preparations taste generic rather than distinctive, making the dining experience feel like an overpriced version of grocery store seafood counters. Kitchen operations have been simplified to accommodate inexperienced staff, but these changes have eliminated specialized preparation techniques that once made Red Lobster offerings superior to competitors. The famous Cheddar Bay biscuits remain inconsistent, with some visits producing warm, fluffy accompaniments, while other experiences deliver cold, dense alternatives that bear little resemblance to the signature items customers remember. Vendor relationships damaged during bankruptcy proceedings create supply chain problems that affect menu availability and ingredient quality. Many suppliers now demand payment guarantees that strain cash flow, while others have terminated contracts entirely, forcing remaining locations to source products from secondary suppliers who cannot match previous quality standards. These disruptions create menu inconsistencies where signature dishes may be unavailable or prepared with substitute ingredients that fundamentally alter expected flavors. Franchise operators face mounting pressures as corporate support systems remain unstable following reorganization efforts, creating uncertainty about long-term viability that affects staff morale and service consistency. The upscale seafood positioning that once attracted celebration dinners and special occasions now feels undermined by operational chaos and quality control problems that make dining experiences unpredictable rather than memorable, driving away customers who associate the brand with disappointing rather than celebratory experiences. Number 1. Friendly's. The beloved family restaurant chain that defined American comfort food, dining for generations has been reduced to a handful of struggling locations that operate more as nostalgic relics than viable dining establishments. What once represented the pinnacle of wholesome family dining experiences has become a heartbreaking reminder of how changing consumer preferences and operational costs can eliminate even the most cherished dining traditions. The ice cream sundaes that built Friendly's reputation now arrive looking hastily assembled with ice cream that tastes artificial and toppings that seem stale rather than fresh. The hot fudge lacks richness, while whipped cream appears to come from aerosol cans rather than being freshly prepared, creating dessert experiences that pale in comparison to premium ice cream shops or even grocery store alternatives that offer superior products at lower prices. The classic American comfort food menu that once attracted multi-generational family gatherings has been stripped down to basic offerings that lack the distinctive character customers remember from childhood visits. Clam strips taste frozen and processed, while fried clams seem rubbery and overcooked, eliminating the New England coastal authenticity that once differentiated Friendly's from generic family dining competitors. Breakfast offerings that were supposed to provide morning revenue streams have become inconsistent disasters, with pancakes arriving unevenly cooked and coffee that tastes burnt or weak, depending on brewing equipment maintenance schedules. The family-friendly atmosphere that made Friendly's the natural choice for children's birthday parties and weekend brunches now feels forced rather than genuine as service training focuses on speed rather than hospitality. Physical locations show decades of deferred maintenance with booth seating that appears cracked and uncomfortable, flooring that seems worn beyond repair, and restroom facilities that create negative impressions before customers even order their meals. The iconic Friendly's signage that once drew families from highways and local roads now appears faded and poorly maintained, suggesting a brand that has given up on attracting new customers. Corporate decision-making appears focused entirely on extracting remaining value from existing locations rather than investing in improvements that might attract contemporary diners seeking quality family dining experiences. Menu prices have increased while portion sizes have decreased, creating value perception problems that drive families toward competitors offering better deals on similar comfort food options. The nostalgic appeal that might attract older customers seeking familiar dining experiences has been undermined by execution problems that make visits disappointing rather than satisfying. Many longtime patrons report that their cherished memories of Friendly's excellence make current experiences feel particularly jarring when food quality and service standards fail to meet expectations formed during the chain's golden years. Location closures continue accelerating as lease agreements expire and remaining operators struggle with unsustainable operating costs that exceed revenue generation capabilities. The few surviving locations feel increasingly isolated as customers lose confidence in the brand's ability to provide reliable dining experiences that justify the time and expense of restaurant visits over home preparation alternatives. The collapse of these 10 restaurant chains marks more than business failure. It's the end of an era when chain dining served as the social backbone of American life. These weren't just places to eat. They were gathering spots where families celebrated milestones, friends caught up over coffee, and communities found comfort in familiar meals. Rising labor costs, supply chain instability, and shifting preferences toward local, authentic dining have created a perfect storm that even established brands can't weather. Each closure removes another piece of cultural continuity, leaving behind darkened signs and empty parking lots where memories once thrived. By 2026, the dining landscape will look entirely different. Independent ventures will fill the spaces, but the sense of shared tradition these chains provided may never return. What's disappearing isn't just a business model, it's a piece of American life built around simple food, steady service, and the comfort of the familiar.